So the next thing, when you're leading your partner's intention, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're actually giving them something that they can. Okay, and that's just it. What you want to do is you want to feel like as though you're giving them something. So when he grabs, you see what I'm saying? I mean, how many times have you played that game with your nephew? Here. You follow? And you're really good at it when you're at the the family picnic. Okay. So what I'd like you to do is when he's grabbing you. He makes the grab. Same feeling. He makes the grab. Follow? And the difference is at the family picnic, you're having fun, you're relaxed, you're very natural. You're not fighting, right? So try to see if you can adopt that mindset. Okay. Grab. I'm watching you guys a little bit. When he grabs, I see a lot of people do that. Who's leading whose intention? You follow what I'm saying? So if somebody grabs, I mean, when he grabs and I get tight, he now is dictating what's going on, okay? Because he's controlling my physiology in essence, okay? When he grabs and I look, he's controlling my psychology. You follow? So you don't want either of those things going on. When he grabs, you want to be really relaxed. When he grabs, you don't want to look. You just want to just be. Do you follow? So when you're practicing with your partner, it's always this ebb and flow of both people's intentions. That's why Japanese talk about space in a different way. We talk about space very Newtonian, just the distance between us. Japanese dojo are going to talk about space filled with stuff, intention. Okay, I'd like you to open up to those ideas a little bit. Okay, when you're practicing with your partner, you're going to feel when he makes his advance, he's going to be leading things, but then how does that situation change? Do I basically give him it? Do I become the person leading? Okay? You guys saw the movie Dead Poets Society? You know what I'm talking about? Okay, there was I love that movie. It had some great scenes in that movie. And one of the scenes was he had everybody outside walking. And as they were walking, kind of being themselves, at some point they started adopting everybody else's movement. And all of a sudden they were marching together. It's called entrainment. We feed on the group think. All of a sudden we're falling into a metronomic thing that just we're inclined to do. Okay, so when you're practicing these movements with your partner, there's nothing really spontaneous about entrainment. Okay, so when you're practicing, you don't want to be standing here with your partner going, left hand, right hand, left hand, right hand. Do you follow? There's nothing natural about that. Okay, and I would equate that to very robotic karate has a feeling of entrainment to it. Everything should be completely new. So someone says, hey, do that technique again. I don't think I can do that technique again. That technique was that technique. Now this technique is this technique. I'm totally connected to what I'm doing now, and then it's gone, and I'm on to the next thing. You want that feeling to sort of be the vibe that informs your karate, okay? So when you're working with your partner in these sort of movements and you're making a grab, I mean, every grab should be totally new. And it shouldn't be a left, right. Mix it up a little bit. And even when you're attacking, think, this moment is like no other moment. Do you follow what I'm saying? Now, and then take that concept and now add to that this, and that is that in karate, when we're in kumite, this is very much like I'm focusing my attention on my partner. I mean, that is the karate look. When you step and you face somebody, you have this sort of thing, right? Okay, but what I'd like you to do, this is, there's two ways of shooting archery in Japanese archery. One is you focus on the target, and then you let the arrow go to the target. The other one is you actually keep a neutral frame of mind, and then you're more concentrating on the moment when it feels right to just let go. That's like that would be considered the more Zen aspect of the archery. Do you follow? So when he goes to grab, instead of being like, okay, I'm ready, and now I'm pulling my hand away, you want to be just thinking very relaxed and more globally with your mind. I'm not focusing on him going, okay. And just move. Feel the moment. Okay? Thank you. Those two things. Again, go back to the idea of leading your intention. When you're moving, you're going like this, and I'm like, he's still taking my intention. You follow what I'm saying? So when I move, when I do my diverting movement, my feeling is just, it's neutral. It's like zero power. I'm not diverting and look, and it's not like that. You see that? It's more like that. Nothing. Nothing. Follow? No. Okay, give it a try. So every dojo has technique. Everything we're doing, anywhere you go, everyone's pretty much learning karate in what would amount to as being a similar fashion. But the paradigm that you put that in, that can change a lot. And so your psychology and your feeling in your body, how that is sort of operating as almost like a subtext to the technique, that's really what makes it active. That's what's going to make it effective. You understand what I'm saying? And so a lot of times overcoming these sort of conditioned responses, and of course the two big ones are going to be self-preservation. Someone attacks you, you get naturally fearful that you're under a anxiety sort of situation. The second one is going to be, and the training, when you watch your dojo mates practice, it becomes really apparent. Your personality is very hard to hide in the dojo. I don't know if you observed that, but you can just see people's, everybody has a certain type of energy. And everyone has, the ego's not a bad thing, but it's, it's the thing that gets people stuck in that situation where you push me, I push you, and we're kind of locked in this thing. And now, as martial artists, people that are actually observant, you recognize that's a horrible place to be. That's not how to overcome conflict. Do you follow what I'm saying? So when you're training, of course, your self-preservation can cause this sort of reactiveness, and your ego, can cause that same thing. So how do you discard those things? And to me, this is part of when we say empty hand. The empty part is not just without a weapon. The empty part is getting rid of that stuff. That's the contextual framework that you're going to practice your karate. That's why your karate is going to be more evolved than just staccato robotic karate. It has a feeling. It becomes you, and you become it. You're not practicing a martial art, you're becoming a martial artist. Right. Do you follow that? Right. So what I would like you to just, as you're thinking, meditating on these things and in your own personal practice, try to say, well, wow, there could be a whole aspect of my training that I haven't ever even thought about because I've been so stuck in the physical part of it. And that's not bad. I love the physical part of my karate and all of our karate, and I strive to make that ever better, ever more precise. But wow, there's a whole other area that now can inform that as a type of sensibility, like a martial wisdom. It's like a layer. It paints a color on your martial art. Do you follow? So if you just get that, I think that would be one more layer in your training. Okay.